In that defiant embrace, they refused the curse's demand. They chose each other over freedom, and the loop finally listens. Time no longer reverses. It moves forward. The spring snow melts all at once, as if 17 winters release their hold in a single breath. The world, once trapped in an endless cycle of cold and sorrow, awakens. Icicles that have hung for an eternity now drip, returning to water, feeding the thirsty earth below. The heavy blanket of snow slides from the resilient bamboo, revealing the vibrant green that patiently waited beneath. Every droplet, every melting patch of white, is a promise fulfilled. The stone that sealed their fate crumbles not with violence, but with the gentle grace of a curtain parting, revealing a world reborn. They step out together, hand in hand, into the impossible dawn. The bamboo forest is no longer a silent frozen tomb. New life pushes through the softening ground, tiny green shoots reaching for the warmth. Sunlight, a forgotten visitor, now filters through the leaves, painting the forest floor in strokes of gold. And then, a sound. Faint at first, but growing stronger, the hesitant, then joyful song of a bird. It's a melody of a future they never dared to dream of. A future they earned not by fighting the curse, but by surrendering to each other. For so long, this path was a graveyard of repeated goodbyes. Now, it is a garden of new beginnings. The air is clean, filled with the scent of wet earth and fresh growth. Every step they take is on solid ground, no longer threatened by the sands of time resetting beneath their feet. Xiao Tingyan's voice, barely a whisper, breaks the sacred silence, filled with a disbelief that slowly turns to awe. He looks at Shen Qingyu, her face illuminated by the rising sun, tears of joy tracing paths on her cheeks. It's over. She smiles, a genuine soul-deep smile he hasn't seen in lifetimes. No more resets, no more graves. They walk through the transformed landscape, their shadows stretching long behind them in the morning light. The curse had demanded a sacrifice, a choice between love and life, assuming one would always be forsaken for the other. But in their unwavering commitment, they offered it something else entirely. A love so complete, it redefined the rules. They didn't break the curse, they healed it. They showed it that true freedom wasn't escaping the loop, but finding something within it worth staying for forever. Their love became the eternal spring that melted the eternal winter. They find the spot where the graves once stood, over and over again. Now, it's just a small clearing, covered in new grass and wildflowers just beginning to bloom. There are no stones, no markers of sorrow, only the promise of life. He kneels down, touching a delicate white blossom that has pushed its way through the soil. She joins him, their fingers intertwining over the flower. This is their future, not one of grand victories or epic battles, but of quiet moments, of shared sunrises, of watching flowers grow in a place that once held only despair. The cycle is broken. A new story begins, not with a reset, once weighed down by ice. Now sways gently in a warm breeze, its leaves rustling like a soft melody. On their faces, a beautiful transformation unfolds. Relief washes over them, followed by pure, unadulterated joy. The lingering disbelief from 17 lifetimes of despair finally gives way to a profound, unshakable certainty. This time it's real. The pavilion stands ahead, no longer a phantom shrouded in white, but a solid, welcoming structure. The red lanterns still hang, but their light is no longer a lonely beacon in the dark. Instead, they are bathed in the golden glow of the morning sun. They finally reach the steps, the very place where their story began and ended, 17 times over. They sit side by side, a familiar pose, but the feeling is entirely new. She leans her head on his shoulder, a gesture once of seeking warmth against the cold, now one of simple comfort and peace. He wraps his cloak around her, the same protective motion, but this time it holds no desperation, only a quiet promise of a future. This time, she says, the snow won't come back. A soft laugh escapes him, full of warmth. Then let's make this the first real spring. He takes her hand, his touch gentle, and lifts it to his lips, kissing her knuckles with a reverence that speaks of battles won and a love finally unshackled. She turns to him, her fingers tracing the lines of his face, and they share a deep, unhurried kiss. The sunlight warms their skin, and delicate petals drift around them on the breeze, like nature's own celebration. There is no curse watching from the shadows, no reset switch waiting to flicker. There are only two people finally free to love without fear, to embrace without the threat of a tomorrow that will never come. They stand together and he kneels before her once more. But this time, it is not an act of sacrifice, not a desperate plea to a merciless fate. He looks up at her, his eyes clear and bright, filled with a future he can now see. Shen Qingyu, he asks, his voice steady and sincere. This time, can you marry me? Not because of fate, not to break a curse, but because you choose me. A smile breaks through her happy tears, a laugh bubbling up from her soul. Yes, she whispers, pulling him to his feet and into her arms. 1,000 times yes. The 17th spring snow has ended. In its place blooms an eternal spring, vibrant and full of promise. They walk forward hand in hand, leaving the pavilion and its memories behind. They are not prisoners of a repeating timeline, but two people who found and chose each other, again and again, through every storm and every winter. This time, their journey forward is not into another loop, but into forever.